The criminalization of poor people of color has been a time-honored tradition in New York City since I was a little boy. My mom brought me here. My mom was pregnant in the trunk of a car when she crossed the border into this country. And she did it not necessarily because she loved this country. She did it because she loved me. And she loved her son. And she's the strongest human being I've ever met and will ever meet. And at 12 years old, I had my first interaction with a police officer who took me and my friend into an alley, degraded us, and told us to watch our backs. And ever since then, I've been watching my back. Fortunately, for the last couple of years, I've had other people to watch my back too. And through the efforts of grassroots organizations who do cop watch, who present legal help, who try to protect one another, we've been able to create our own sanctuary city, despite the fact that the official sanctuary in this city does not protect all people, does not protect the most vulnerable amongst us. When the mayor and the city council say that this is a sanctuary city, they don't know what they're talking about, because we have people, we're not going to talk about them as undocumented or non-citizens. We have human beings who are being criminalized and who are being deported in New York. New York is not a sanctuary city. And what the mayor says, even though he tries to say that he's against Trump and that he's fighting Trump and he's defending us, he is not our savior. His commitment to broken windows policing is something that is a problem. So for us, Mayor de Blasio and even the progressive leaders who continue to criminalize us are our Trumps. They are local Trumps. When they work with developers to help push us out of the city through gentrification, when they criminalize us, my children, the family members who work and make this city what it is, because we have such a reputation of being an immigrant city. From when I was a little boy and they told me about Ellis Island and how much we love immigrants, but the dark reality is that we criminalize immigrants. Whether you see women on the immigrant women on the subways or in the streets being arrested for selling churros or selling food on the street, or whether you have immigrant delivery men who are being stopped because they're biking and they're not stopping at a red sign. You have criminalization going on every single day in my neighborhood in El Barrio. You have it going on in Jackson Heights. You have going on in communities of color all across this city. And even though we want to fight against Trump, we're not going to give de Blasio a free pass. Am I right?
Trump! When I say people, you say power! People! 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 Power! Dump! Trump! Dump! Trump! Trump! People! Power! 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 Sisters and brothers, I'm sure we all remember being in school and thinking back to the grave injustices of the history of this country and thinking to ourselves, what would we have done? When we learned about the Fugitive Slave Act, what would we have done? When we learned about the lynchings of the Jim Crow era, what would we have done? When we thought about a few blocks from here, the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory, where immigrant teenage women were killed because their bosses had them stuck in these factories, and there was a fire and all of them died. When we learned about Japanese internment, what would we have done? When we learned about the civil rights movement and we saw those young people being hosed down, we saw the police sick dogs on them, we asked ourselves, what would we have done? Well, sisters and brothers, we're at a time right now where that question has changed. The question is not what would we have done? The question is, what will we do now? What will we do now? Are you tired?
Yeah. No, I'm not tired.
Some of us are tired. Some of us are not tired. Tired of the bullshit? So what will we do? That's the question for all of us. What will we do right now? Who are we? In the Mexican Revolution, Pancho Villa would show up to people's houses early in the morning And he would get there, and people would be still like kind of waking up, and he would go in there and he'd say, "A ver, ¿a dónde están mis valientes? ¿A dónde están mis valientes?" And in English that means, "Where are all my people with courage? Where are all my people with courage?"
They're on their way.
So I'm going to ask you, ¿a dónde están mis valientes?
Aquí.
¿A dónde están mis valientes? Well, we've been seeing our valientes, haven't we? Since day one of the Trump agenda, we've been seeing our valientes all over the country. All over the country from the first day that he was in office. Tens of thousands of people in Washington, D.C. Millions of people at all of the women's marches the next day. What did we see last weekend? Tens of thousands of people who shut down those airports in solidarity against the Muslim ban. In D.C., in Utah, in Phoenix, Arizona, in Los Angeles, everywhere we've seen people standing up. But right now, we have to remember, we have to draw the line, right? Because what's happening right now, we got to draw the line between what is the real resistance and what is the fake resistance. Now, we want to hold the mayor accountable for not just his nice words, but for his actions. We've seen the gap between those nice words and those actions, and we need actions. We need a fundamental shift in policing. We cannot claim to be a sanctuary city when the police floods immigrant communities with cops who are racking up arrests and summonses in huge numbers. We cannot maintain the narrative that only the quote-unquote bad immigrant or only the criminal immigrants are the ones who are being thrown into the deportation machine
Why not me?
by broken windows. We cannot maintain that narrative because we know that broken windows policing, that's something the mayor can control. Broken windows policing criminalizes our communities. It pushes us into that deportation machine.
I know you did.
We have no sanctuary when that's the kind of policing that we're facing in our communities.
Me alone.
Are you with me? ¿A dónde están mis valientes? A few days ago, the mayor said on WNYC that in terms of Trump's executive order, that the executive order and New York City policing were two conversations that must be kept separate. They're not two separate things, are they? No, they're not two separate things. They're not separate for the people who are living in fear in New York City, not just by ICE, but by the NYPD. So we need to end broken windows?
Yes.
We cannot separate the act of deportation from pushing immigrants into the deportation machine. Those are local policies that you control, and we need you to put words, to put action to your words. We're calling on our city officials, we're calling on the mayor to not follow the Democratic Party senators who talk tough about Trump, right? But then when it comes down to the real resistance, all they can offer is Facebook Live videos and fundraising emails. That's fake resistance. Real resistance is the tens of thousands of people at airports protesting the Muslim ban. Real resistance is the taxi workers who went out on strike. Real resistance is the bodega owners, the Yemeni bodega workers who shut down their stores. And for those of you who think that the judges would have made those decisions regardless of the mass protest, you're kidding yourself. That was a people's victory. Was that a people's victory? Real resistance is the people in Phoenix, Arizona, who blocked the ICE vans to protect Guadalupe Garcia. That's real resistance. The mayor of Arizona, he had nice words too. But that night, when it came down to it, when that woman was being separated from her children, he was nowhere to be found. Boo. And what we saw was that his cops were facilitating the deportations, and they were the ones that were helping the ICE agents. That's what we want to prevent right here in New York City. Are you with me?
Yes.
resistance movement, we're not fighting to return to the status quo. If this political system, from the local to the congressional levels, the Democratic Party or the Republican parties, if they are incapable of stopping Trump, and if they render themselves powerless, then we're going to fight for a new system. And we're going to become a new power. We don't need politicians who just issue press releases and show up at the rally with a bullhorn to look good. We don't need minor tweaks to the system that is criminalizing and deporting our communities, terrorizing our communities, humiliating our communities every day. We need a full break of broken windows. This failed policy that targets immigrants and other poor and working people in this city. That would be real resistance. That would be real sanctuary. That is what Mayor de Blasio must do, and that is what we have to continue doing to continue to support our immigrant communities and fight for the world that we all deserve. Are you with me? Yeah. When I say dump, you say Trump. Dump. Trump. Dump. Trump. When I say people, you say power. People. 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 Power. Thank you.
All right, what's up, y'all? My name is Dennis Flores, co-founder of El Grito de Sunset Park. We, in our local group, in our neighborhood of Sunset Park, we, for the last 15 years, have been organizing Cop Watch, where we've been watching the police, holding them accountable, and putting pressure on them when they're out there abusing street vendors, abusing of our elders, attacking our community, and we've been putting fire to their feet. So it's important right now that all our people start using our cameras to go watch ICE, watch cops, and watch this mayor. Because Mayor de Blasio, he has this excuse that he's running out to him and Viverito and this so-called progressive city council, that they're out there challenging Trump. But we see that this so-called progressive mayor, he has over 170 offenses that he can deport folks for. And under those offenses, one of them is resisting arrest. And it's important for us to realize that resisting arrest is one of the charges that people get tagged onto when a cop has to justify abuse. So imagine that, someone who's been victimized by the police is now gonna get victimized by this administration and deported for being a victim of police abuse. So how progressive is that shit, huh? So what do we say to Mayor de Blasio? Mayor de Blasio, fuck you. You're not here with the people, all right? Cut the bullshit and protect immigrants. This is not a sanctuary city. And start trying to feed the people some fucking Kool-Aid. All right? Much respect. Film the cops.
Next, from Equality for Flatbush and the Brooklyn Anti-Gentrification Network BAN, we have an amazing organizer who's been putting it down for many years, Imani Henry.
No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. Say what?
No Trump, no KKK,
No fascist USA. Say what?
no Trump, no KKK,
No fascist USA.
no Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA.
Family, I want to just say this is beautiful. And we can keep chanting, that's right. Family, this is beautiful. That we're out here in the snow and the cold and the slush, because we are clear that this is not only not a sanctuary city, but we are living in a moment in time right now that we know that the vast majority of people in New York City can't even afford to live here. That we know that our people are being pushed out and displaced out of this city. That we can't afford to live on the minimum wage jobs that we have. That we know that right now the majority of folks that are facing deportation since 2014 are actually black immigrants. We know that right now that trans and LGBT people are also under attack under this administration. We know that women are under attack under this administration. We know that 25% of the families in New York City make under $25,000 a year, and if they can't afford an apartment, there is no affordable housing in this city for them. Where do they go? The shelter system. This is under de Blasio. All that pretense of him being Progressive, that is just out of the window. And we need to make sure that people know that this mayor has not done a damn thing for working and low and middle class people in this city. I want to make sure that folks know that the real power, where it really lies, is with us. We're the ones that are going to keep our people safe. We're the ones that are going to defend our communities. We're the ones that are going to join cop watch teams. We're going to have immigrant defense committees, and we're going to create our own sanctuary. And what we're going to have to do is be out in the streets every goddamn day until broken windows is a thing of the past. Until racial profiling is a thing of the past. Until we never have to say a name again of Molly Graham or Cam Livingston or Chantel Davis. We need to make sure that they know we're woke and we're ready and we're coming. No Trump, no KKK. Say what?
No KKK.
No fascist USA. No Trump, no KKK.
Fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK. No fascist USA.
Right now, the police have been detaining people on Junction Boulevard over the 7 line. This is happening right now in your city, what you call your city, right? Our people, police, we're not even talking about, you know, like the military. We're talking about NYPD that coordinates with ICE, right? It's going on the 7 line and rounding people up to deport them. They're attacking our communities directly right now. All right? What can you do? Turn those cameras and film the freaking police. Yeah! All right? They think that they own this city. They think they can just go in wherever the heck they like, and they can round us up, and they can deport us, they can hit us, they can kill us, they can displace us, because they feel that this is a safe city for them. Let's make it not safe for them. All of y'all, go out today. Don't show up just to the march. After today, wherever you go, at your home, go and be vigilant. Watch the police. Film them. Do not trust them. Do not talk to police ever again. Get them out. Ice Free Queens is doing work that needs to be done by everyone, but what you can do right now is basically, it starts with that, right? If you want to call this a sanctuary city, it starts with taking the power away from police and giving it back to the communities. That's all.